never think you'd leave Ole Miss.
It does take 4 years, Jolene. I got a job today, writing for the Jackson Journal.
Great. You can write my obituary. Charlotte Phelan, dead. Her daughter, still single.
Does this dress look handmade?
I reckon when you finish, it won't.
Thank you.
She look like the winning horse at the Kentucky Derby.
I've drafted the Home Health Sanitation Initiative.
The what?
A bill that requires every white home to have a separate bathroom for the help.
Maybe we should just build you a bathroom outside, Haley.
Minnie? Hey, Aibileen.
Hey, Manny. These women raise white children. We love them, and they love us, but they can't even use the toilets in our houses.
Minnie, are you in there?
You are fired! You said to write about what disturbs me, particularly if it bothers no one else. I'd like to write something from the point of view of the help.
I want to interview you.
No maid is ever going to tell you the truth. That's a hell of a risk to take in Jackson, Mississippi.
Courage isn't just about being brave. It's about overcoming fear and daring to do what is right for your fellow man.
What changed your mind?
God. And Miss Haley Holbrook.
And here they are, Emma, Octavia, and Viola. Good morning, to you
Morning.
all.
Morning to the
So, and well, chatty on the sofa and sassy in the film. Isn't that right? That's what you are.
Pretty much, both.
For people who haven't read the book, there are lots who have read the book and are very passionate about the book, who might be a bit wary of going to see the film. I love the book, saw the film, it is great. But tell us a little bit about the story behind it. It's set in 60s Mississippi, and you play Skeeter. What is Skeeter trying to do?
Well, Skeeter comes up with an idea to kind of write an expose or approach Aibileen about writing an expose about what it's like to work as a maid in Jackson, Mississippi, after the loss of her own maid, who has been fired by her family. So it inspires her to kind of reach out to Aibileen, and thanks to Aibileen's bravery, it's able to kind of pick up and leave the ground.
Yeah.
This is a fictional account of somebody writing a book which was never actually written, but is how much sort of fact is there in it? So, or factual background?
Oh, there's a lot of factual, the Jim Crow laws, which are in the book, and even with Minnie, when Minnie in the book is trying to teach her young child about working in the households, just this code of ethics with not touching, you know, white women, not using the same spoons, not sitting at the same tables, just very, the segregation laws are very much woven in the fabric of the story.
Yeah.
And that's very truthful.
Because there's this whole issue about this Home Health Sanitation Initiative, which Hilly, who's the sort of bad woman in the
Darth
film,
Vader.
yeah, the Darth Vader in the film, is trying to make sure that there are separate toilets for the black maids than in the white homes. But there's also affection as well, and that's quite important, isn't it, between some of the black maids and the white women?
Absolutely. I think it's also very truthful. We've always seen the brutality of that era reflected in film, but we've never seen the humanity that Abileen's character has toward May Mobley, and then the affection that our characters ultimately have towards Skeeter. We never really see that.
Well, let's take a look at another look at the film. Emma, here's where your character asks to write Abileen's story.
Something else I want to write about. I would need your help. I want to interview you about what it's like to work as a maid. I'd like to do a book of interviews about working for white families. And we could show what it's like to work for, say, Elizabeth.
You know what Miss Leaf will do to me if she knew I was telling stories on her?
Well, I was thinking that we wouldn't have to tell her. The other maids would have to keep it a secret, too.
Other maids?
Well, I was hoping to get 4 or 5. To show what it's really like in Jackson.
Yeah, and that's the difficulty, isn't it? I mean, it's amazing courage and bravery that women needed to talk about this sort of thing, and your character, Minnie, is quite resistant at first, isn't she?
Absolutely. Minnie wasn't very trustful because it was such a volatile time in our nation's history, and if you weren't black, then you didn't mingle in Minnie's world. And if you weren't white, you really didn't mingle in Hilly's world, you know. So Minnie was very reluctant to do anything that was outside of her world.
Do you think? I mean, you filmed in the deep sea. You filmed, was it in Mississippi that the film took place? I mean, one thinks, you know, 40 years on, things have moved on. You'd hope a fair amount, or are there still echoes of the past there?
Absolutely, yeah, absolutely. There's still echoes of the past. I mean, I think every place in the world is steeped with history, but Mississippi's is so recent that I think you can definitely feel. It feels pretty current. You know?
Yeah, it does. I mean, there's still a sense of segregation there between whites and blacks. A sense of there's still this lack of trust maybe that's happening. But that's what Octavia says what's so beautiful about the film is you see how these people come together despite that.
Yes.
And I think that's what makes the movie and the book so dramatic is that this friendship and love is happening in such a volatile time. And they're saying to these people, the Skeeters and the Minnies, that you're not supposed to be together. You're not supposed to love each other. You're not supposed to have similarities.
Yeah. Let's have another look from the film, and this is a clip where Minnie goes to work for Celia. Here it is.
I work Sunday through Friday.
No, you can't work at all on the weekends.
Okay. Well, what time you want me here?
After 9, and you gotta leave before 4.
Okay. Now, what your husband say you can pay?
Johnny doesn't know I'm bringing in help.
And what Mr. Johnny gonna do when he come home and find a colored woman in his house?
It's not like I'd be fibbing. I just want him to think I can do this on my own. I really need a maid.
Actually, Monday to Friday between 9 and 4, not bad hours.
I know, I thought about that. It's wonderful.
That's right. Yeah, but wasn't your mother a maid?
My grandmother
Your
and
grandmother
my mother.
and your mother.
And my grandmother worked, and she took care of the children, and she worked in the homes. And my mom said, Viola, she worked her fingers to the bone and got $25 a week.
Really?
But
how was she treated?
She was treated terribly. Not everyone was treated terribly. She was. But one of the things my mom just recently told me is that the kids never forgot her. The kids she was their surrogate mother for the rest of their lives. And she got letters, she got presents. They just left a lasting impression in their lives.
And that's the key part of the film, isn't it? That you love these children as your own, these white children as your own, and then they grow up. There's a line in the book, which is in the film as well, and they grow up just to be like their mums. And that must have been terrible, mustn't it? Because there was so much affection.
Oh, absolutely.
In spite of all the rejections, the book became a huge success, and the film's been very successful in America. It's clearly a topic which resonates massively with Americans in particular, would you say?
I agree. I think the characters are very relatable. Whether you see yourself as a Skeeter, an Abilene, a Celia, or a Minnie, or May Mobley, you find something in it that sort of impacts you and that you can identify with, I think.
Absolutely.
Okay, we're out of time. You have to explain now about the London Eye, because you went on it yesterday. Is it yesterday?
I went on the London Eye yesterday. I'm afraid of heights, but I got through it. It was wonderful, London.
You got on a good, clear day. So we better explain that. All right.
Thank you all for coming in.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you.
You pushed her on, did you? Go on up there.
Get in there.
You can do it.
You can see Emma, Octavia and Viola in The Help in cinemas across the UK from October the 26th, so it's a couple of weeks just yet.
It's a lovely film. The time, a couple of minutes before 9. Doctors regularly use a donor scheme to save people's lives, of course. Now vets can use a pioneering programme to help save pets too.
Yep, Veterinary Tissue Bank